What's going on, everyone? Um, for all those who may not know who I am, I'm here with my cousin, Coach B. What's going on, Coach B?
Hey, 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 everybody.
Now, let me tell you, she is my real cousin. I know some of you people will meet somebody and you have this kind of connection and you call them a cousin,
Mm,
but no, she is my real cousin.
they should be able to
My
tell we
mother,
both got the gap.
her, her father are siblings, so and fortunately, we're both coaches. I'm a relation coach. As a matter of fact, my wife and I we're actually almost certified marriage team coaches. I explained to you that what that's about in a later video, but I do more so relationship coaching, and Coach B is a life coach. So, and today, we're gonna be talking about really just self identity, self identity. But before we really get into the details of that, a lot of people are probably trying to figure out why do I coach in my life. So, Coach B, can you explain to people what's the value of having a coach in their life?
Well, let me start by saying, or start by telling my story as far as before I had a coach in my life. Because, yes, I am a coach now, but before I got to this point, I did not have a coach in my life. So, with that, I had no direction, I had no inspiration. I pretty much didn't realize and recognize my identity, myself, and my purpose in my identity. So once I invested in myself, because I'm not investing in the coach, per se, I invested in myself and seeking out a coach, which brung out things in me that I knew were there, some of them dormant. Um, but it's like going to church on Sunday and you get all inspired and yes, I'm gonna tackle this week and da 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 da. But come Tuesday, you've lost that fire. And so it's like, okay, I gotta hurry up and get back in church so I can get it again. Walking through your purpose, your calling, your identity without a coach, without that fire can can dampen that flame because you're not getting that constant motivation, that constant inspiration. So I say coaches are necessary, be it marriage, be it life coach, be it identity coach, purpose coach. They're necessary to keep that inspiration lit in you so that you can walk in your calling.
Awesome. Now, the reality about it is that, believe it or not, a lot of successful people all have coaches.
This is true.
Michael Jordan, he would not be Michael Jordan without a coach.
This is true.
You know, Tiger Woods, he wouldn't be Tiger Woods without
Mm-hmm.
a coach. As a matter of fact, they have a coach for many different aspects of their life. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they may have a coach for golfing. They may have a coach for their finances.
Mm-hmm.
And they might have a coach for maybe their relationships. So
Mindset
again, a
coaches,
coach.
because going through all that, especially as an athlete, your mindset from outside media and everything, you have to have be in a certain mindset to be able to handle all the criticism, all the naysayers. So these people, they have coaches. And my coach, she's a multimillionaire. She has coaches. So even though I'm a coach, I
Yeah.
still have a coach.
Yep, and like I don't know about Coach B, but my perspective that I'm like a therapist. I'm here to motivate you. I'm here to tell you the God honest truth. And sometimes in some conversations, I'm gonna tell you, you just need to grow up.
Yeah.
Be on the bush and calling you because life sometimes will so, sometimes people just need to be told the truth and sometimes we have struggles. Nobody what to hurt our feelings, but I've learned I live life a little bit, and some of my best advice wasn't when somebody told me the truth about something.
You have to, because we live in this fantasy world of, you can, like, I'll say me, I won't use anyone else as an example, but even me, I had the dream of, oh, I want to make millions. I want to own a few houses. I want to do this. I have all these big dreams, but what am I doing to get there? So it's like, okay, let me get that quick, swift kick in the behind. And it's nobody, plain and simple, nobody's coming to rescue you. You have to rescue yourself. And so until I got that swift kick in my behind, like, okay, you can have all these dreams and aspirations, but you sitting on the couch is not going to get you there. So what are we going to do about it? So, and it was a hard truth. Like, you know what? That's real. Like, okay, no one's coming to rescue me. I can't, oh God, let me win the lottery. I ain't never played the lottery a day in my life. Type thing. But it's crazy. Like, we just expect so much and want to do so little. Like, how that work?
Yeah, so let's get into this self identity issue.
Yes.
First, let's talk about the
first, the word self identity is about knowing yourself.
Knowing yourself.
Give me a second here.
There you go.
It's about the knowing who you are as a person. First of all, Coach B, what's the value of somebody knowing who they are?
Knowing who you are allows you forward movement. It affords you the opportunity to move forward. Because if you don't know who you are, you're just sitting there. You're wondering, okay, what am I supposed to do? What's next? How do I make sense of this? But when you are confident in who you are, it doesn't matter if you have 2 pennies in your pocket and you walk into a room full of millionaires, you're going to appear to be a millionaire because you know who you are. You are that confident in your identity that I may not be there, but I'm going to be there. And that's knowing yourself. Having that confidence is key.
Now, I must make sure that knowing yourself don't mean what you have, because some people wrap up the identity based on what you have. No.
Oh yeah.
We talk about knowing who you is about who you are on the inside, because when you find out who you are on the inside, you can always manifest the material things. Nothing.
Most definitely, they come, they go. Because all them things go, you go bankruptcy. Now, who am I? Now that everything is gone. Like, so yes, you definitely have to know who you are on the inside and believe in that. And I still revert that back to having that confidence that no matter what may come and what may go in my life, I know who I am and I'm still going to produce what I'm supposed to produce, and everything is still going to work out because I know who I am.
Yeah. And again, and I have to revert back to the Bible because I'm a ordained minister, a preacher of the gospel, and I love the Bible. I think the Bible is the best book in the world. Matter of fact, the acronym for Bible, base instructions before leaving Earth. I believe in it are principles that can change your life. So when God first created a man, he told him to reproduce and multiply, be fruitful. So again, when you find out really, and I believe that everybody has an identity of who you are, who God created you to be. And I have a question. How long do you think it takes for a person to really find identity?
I think the first thing is identifying if you are suffering from an identity crisis. And so
Okay.
once you realize or understand, okay, am I suffering from my identity? Because if you don't know that, you won't know how long it's going to take for you to get out of there. When did you fall into that identity crisis? Around what time? Not specifics, but pinpoint. See, like for me, I understood when I discharged from the military, that was the start of my identity crisis. So, because military, they telling you what to do, what to eat, where to go, da 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 da. Everything is laid out. So then I separate. Like, who am I? I got nobody telling me. So that was the start, but I didn't realize that until years later. So I couldn't start working on my identity until I realized that I was suffering from identity crisis, and I didn't know who I was. So I think once you realize that and you understand that portion, the length of time it depends on a person and their mindset. So if you have a strong mind, like, you know what, I realized this, okay, now it's time to get up out of this, it'll be quicker, but it takes determination.
Now, a lot of people go through this, especially when they've been doing something for so long, and then they go through an identity crisis. I have a question. Why do you think that's the case? Why do you think a person goes through an identity crisis when they've been doing for so long and then it ends?
Because it's a training. We've trained our mind. We've equipped our mind. We trained our mind to do X, Y, and Z for however many hours a day, however many days a week. It's set. So when you leave an organization or you retire and you don't have something set in place before that end, it's like a culture shock. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like getting pregnant and you did not plan it. Like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do now?
I've been pregnant for the last 9 months and now I'm not. Well, no, I think you're totally true because, as you know, we're both psychology majors. Most of our mind is ran off of our subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind is developed by habits, by what we see, or what we tell ourselves on a consistent basis. So if you've been telling yourself a certain thing for many years, and then that thing leaves, guess what? Now you have to probably step back for a minute and say, hold on a second, who am I? What am I? What am I supposed to do? Now, me personally, I've learned that over the years because, like myself, I was in the military also.
Mm-hmm.
I left after 7 years. And of course, I'm like, after 7 years, I'm like, okay, now what will I do next? I knew what I want to do. I wanted to go to school. But in the sense of a career, I really kind of struggled because I went to the military at 17 years old. That's all I knew as a job. So I began, but then as I began to just relax, unwind, and find some of my interests, I began to find more of my identity and things. Now at the same time though, my identity is not wrapped in what I do. Because I do many things. Mm-hmm. And that's what say I'm a minister. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a relationship coach. I'm a father. I'm a husband. And I'm a son. So again, I've learned that I learned to try to just label myself as being one thing and keep myself in a box, because oftentimes some people do that too.
Yeah, you have people who have that skill of being a jack of all trades, and you have those people who have the skill of being a master of one. No matter what avenue you decide to walk down, it's walking down some walking, like not sitting still. And when you have, like, going back to what you were saying about being in the military or even being on any specific job, and you develop these habits, and now you have to learn new habits. You have to start little by little, changing little things and creating little habits. Changing 1% of everything you do will give you a better outcome than trying to make this big grand gesture and then you become overwhelmed. So
Yeah.
just taking step by step, okay, in my wake up pattern, I'm going to change 1% of this. I'm going to make sure I wake up and make my bed. Create that habit. I'm going to make sure I eat a full breakfast. I'm going to make sure I get the proper rest. Changing these little things will bring you into a habit, and it restores your mind. Now you have energy. Now you're working off sleep. Now you're able to see a little bit clearer because you have developed a new good habitual routine.
That's good. Now, also, I want to say that life is long, and through life, go through many different seasons. Let me get back. Refer. The Bible says that there's a season and a time for every purpose under the heavens. So again, at one time you may be doing one thing, at another time you may be doing something else. But you should look at a pattern in your life that will lead to doing what ultimately been created to do. Now, I read a book by T.D. Jakes called Instinct. And the premise of the book is this, that you should live life and do things based upon what you have already been wired to do. That's why we met me and Coach B, we seen each other this past weekend, weeks ago, and we both agreed that we're not really fit for I'm just not. I realized I'm not wired that way. I'm just
So true.
I tried jobs. Don't get me wrong. I'll go to work, but I'm not wired to have a 9-to-5 job where this is what you do and this all you do. I'm not wired that way. Matter of fact, I remember I was doing counseling at a methadone clinic, and I'm not wired to be in one place in a building all day long. I had to be out and about, maybe go here, go there. As a matter of fact, when I was working there, for 8 hours a day, I used to volunteer to get food for the patients just so I can get out of the office. And then I realized, you know what? I'm not cut out. Even though I love an office job, I was in the military. You know what? I can't wait to get out of here because I was in combat. I was always outside. I said, I can't wait to get out of the military. I'm going to get me an office job. I got an office job. Then I said, I'll never get a job where I could be stuck in an office all day long.
But see, and that experience has led you to realize, okay, this is what I identify with. And a lot of people, they get so, I don't want to be in this position. I don't feel like doing this. But understand that any position that you're in is a learning, whether you're learning that this is not what I want to do and it forces you and motivates you to do something else, or you learn that this is where I'm supposed to be. But any situation, complaining about it is not going to do anything. It's just like, okay, I got my aha moment. This is not for me. Because getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning anymore, I'm not about that life. I did that for 14 years in the military. Nah, I can't do it.
So I think the key to really finding out your identity, some people find it out earlier, some people find it out later. It doesn't matter. Key is that you'll one day get to experience that experience and know, oh, yes, this is me. This is me. So I think one of the major things that you can do in order to find out your self-identity is exposure. Sometimes doing something you don't want to do helps you discover who you really are.
Yeah, I know. I've
done many things. Good.
I asked my clients, I asked them, what do people know you as? Like people who are, because my coaching is basically helping people find their identity. And so my question is, what do people know you as? Do people know you as the preacher? Do people know you as a coach? Do people know you as a gossiper? Do people know you as a cheater? Do people know you as a liar? Ask me, what do people know you as? And that'll give you an inclination of who you are. And if you don't like the answers or what you're getting from what people are, because whatever you put out, that's what people are going to perceive it as, and that's who you are. I know people always talk about, so I don't care what people think about me, but your reputation is you. That's who you are. So if you don't like your answers that you're getting from people, then that's what you need to work on. Okay, let me self-identify a little bit differently. And that's kind of that honest question, like that hard truth. Like, what do people see you as?
Well, no, that's very important. I learned this years ago by somebody or something, and to ask people what they think about you. And one day, I put a post on Facebook and say, "Hey guys, tell me, when you think about me, what do you think about, me doing?" And people give me a lot of different answers. Some I did not agree with, and I was like, I was okay. So no, that's not me. I'm good. But then others, I'm like, yeah, that's me. That's what I should be doing. That's where I feel more that I should be working toward. And and that's why I do these things and do what I'm doing now, because people oftentimes will leave you tips to where you need to go. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, I hate to reference the Bible again, but I have to. I'm sorry. There was a story in the Bible about this guy named Gideon, and what happened was he was very unsure of himself. He had to lead an army, and the Lord said, "Okay, do this test, and if these people do it, keep them. If they don't, let them go." And God kept, and little by little, his little army kept dwindling down. And he got real discouraged. And then one day God said, "Go to the enemy camp and go listen to what they're saying about you." And when he heard how scared they were of him, he got some confidence like never before. So sometimes people's comments about you is direction about where you should go and what you should not be doing. I may also add that in too, because sometimes people are right about you.
You're right. You are absolutely right.
And if they say it and you don't like it, it's probably because it's true and you change it.
Yep. And most times people, they don't want to see that as constructive. They see that as, oh, you a hater. Oh, I'm unfriend you. Oh, da 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 da. But no, take that. This is who you are. Like, if you don't like it, then change it. Yes. And you have every option. Unless you are dead, you have time to change it. You have time.
That's the good thing of life, is that you can change. Now, you may have to take time to change and move some things around, but let me tell you, I've learned, experienced that the life you live now is not the life that you have to continue to experience. It can be different with some guidance, and maybe me or myself, we can help you to take some steps or to experience what you want to experience. So, well, real quick before we end, let's talk about the value of self-identity in a marriage. So Coach B, what's the value of a person knowing who they are in a marriage?
Oh man, good one right there. Good one right there. Let's see. I've been married almost 10 years. And like I said, started off in the military, and I got out the military about 2015. Still married. And when you don't know who you are, you can feel like you're a burden in your marriage. And so when you feel that way, that brings on depression, that brings on anxiety, that brings on worries, that brings on, what am I here for? My spouse has to do everything. Like, who am I and what am I contributing to this relationship? What am I contributing to this marriage to help us grow together? So not identifying who you are in your marriage, it can jeopardize your marriage, especially if you don't have a strong partner that's going to back you. Fortunately enough, my husband has been there from day one to now, with all my emotional roller coasters going up and down and not knowing who I am and stepping into my business. Like, so he's been there, my ride or die. But everybody doesn't have that. Some people, it's a little bit more detrimental. Like, okay, who are you and what are you bringing to the table? Because some people, they don't know. And then that depression, some people don't know how to handle that. So it's very important that, for one, you are honest with yourself and honest with your spouse. Have these open conversations. If you're struggling with who you are, talk to your spouse about that so they're not in the dark. Don't leave them in the dark and say, how are you doing, babe? Everything's fine. I'm okay. So you kind of putting your spouse in between a rock and a hard place because they know something's wrong, but you're not being open and honest with them, so they cannot help you or walk with you through this journey of finding out who you are.
Awesome. And look at this. Let me tell you something. The value of knowing who you are in a marriage. Now, let me give you an analogy of a marriage. Then I'm gonna say something that a lot of people may not like, but that's okay. I'm good with that. So, marriage,
Lord,
is like being on a team. It's like being on a team. And you know, if you ever play sports, sometimes one person may be stronger, the other person may be weaker, and what you do or what you don't do affects whether you win or lose in a situation. And I say this, I say this. I learned this in the military. You are as strong as your weakest link. So if you don't know who you are, you really can't give your spouse and your family the best of you, the best of your skills, the best of your gifts, the best of your talents. Because guess what? When you know who you are, you will show up in the world, and your family will begin to benefit from it. I'm gonna give you an example. Like for example, I'm an entrepreneur. One thing I can do, I can make some money. I know that about me. I'll find a way. I'll give me something. I'll turn. I'll take a lemonade, sell it for whatever. But I'll make some money in this mug. But that's one of my strengths. That's one thing that I know about myself. And by me able to bring money in, it helps me to provide for my family. So learning who you are. You may have a skill. You may have a gift. You may be a certain skills that are not utilizing. That again, and of course, you're not utilizing it. Your family and your spouse is not benefiting from it. And also, if your spouse want to see you, not someone else, and of course, if you don't, you'll try to act everything else and be like something else when they actually marry you. But you haven't showed up yet because you haven't really found out your real self identity of who you are. So that's the value of it, and it's a long process.
It's a process, but the good at the end of that rainbow, the pot of gold, is like once you find out who you are, just like myself. Once I found out who I am, my gift has always been people. My gift has always been motivating people. And I was doing that for free, like just for free. But once I identify that this is my niche, now I can turn my passion, my purpose into profit. And so once you learn what you identify with, you can turn that into your lifestyle. You can turn all of that, but you have to be ready and prepared to shift your mindset. You have to be prepared to shift your mindset in order to obtain or manifest your dream, your vision, your goals. And so I always tell people, I say, don't limit your identity with negative thoughts, because
I'll say again.
Don't limit your identity with self-destructive negative thoughts, because once you put it, you keep putting it in your head, like it's like that autonomous thinking, like, oh yeah, I'm this, I'm never gonna be anything. My family wasn't anything, so I'm not gonna be anything. Like this self sabotaging. And I always tell people, I may not have come from a wealthy family, but for damn sure a wealthy family gonna come from me. So change your mindset, change your thinking. Like, and it will boost you. It will take you so far, even in your thought process. When you start changing those things about it, you will start walking in your identity and be confident in it.
Yeah, true. Definitely your thought process, and that's a whole different show, really, because um, that's those are steps. So steps that oftentimes people are not willing to do because it's intimidated to do in order to
Mm-hmm.
change your mindset, because you may be lonely, because oftentimes you have to leave the group that you're around.
Now I tell you,
So
what's more important, your identity or your connection to negative energies? Like, what's more important,
mm,
your self identity or how other people, oh, I gotta stay in this box because this person wants me in this box, or I gotta stay in this box. Like, be you. And if let the people into your box that you want in your box. And that's it, that's all.
all right, guys. Well, we're gonna wrap this up right now. I hope you enjoyed this. Let's talk about it. Self identity. Hopefully, Coach B has more time. Some and maybe next week or the week after. And we can talk about something else. We really are about empowering people. We want you to live your best life now. I know they have challenges, to have struggles, and to have live one life, but to change it and live a
Mm-hmm.
different life. And I would like to have, I would like for you to have the same experience if you want it. You getting last words, Coach B?
I just encourage all who hear, do it scared. Even if you're scared to find out who you are, even if you're scared to walk in your purpose, even if you do it scared, because eventually that scared
Yes.
feeling will turn into confidence, and then it will be effortless, and then you can be helping other people identify themselves. That's all I got.
All right. Once again, thank you for being on with us. And talk to you later. God bless.
Bye, everyone.